Welcome to the Solid Signal podcast for the week of August 29th, 2016. Before I start, I want to thank everybody who gave me such incredibly positive feedback about last week's very long, very off-topic podcast. I promised the folks over at Solid Signal that I would get back to topic this week, and so I shall. This week we're going to be talking about the DIRECTV AIM meter and why you actually might want to consider spending the money for one. And it's expensive, I get that, especially compared to some other satellite meters or just using the meter on your DIRECTV receiver. It's quite an investment. But it is the only meter as we move forward that is going to support the latest generation of DIRECTV dishes. This is not some sort of conspiracy. This is not DIRECTV trying to lock out other manufacturers. It's just kind of a simple fact of economics. Let me go back a little bit and explain how this came to be. Well, certainly, when DIRECTV first started, it was all self-installation, and it was done using the satellite meters on the TV, which was nice, except for it was a slow process. You only had to aim at one satellite, so it was not as slow as it would be today when you have to get at multiple locations. So, when it came down to installer use, you had, at that time, when people started getting DIRECTV installed by professionals, you had a lot of different companies who were doing that sort of thing. And so you had a couple of different companies developing satellite TV meters. Again, at the time, when we were all still talking about the round dish, pretty much any satellite meter designed for that round dish anywhere in the world was going to do a pretty good job with just minor modifications. But as DIRECTV's high-definition service started to come into play, you needed a meter that would also read not only the KU frequencies that are used all over the world, but the KA frequencies that are specifically used by DIRECTV. It took a couple of years for that to happen, but you saw a couple of manufacturers, like our own Solid Signal and also Perfect Vision, take advantage of that. There wasn't a standard at that time for DIRECTV satellite meters, although most people back then, say about 10 years ago, were using Perfect Vision's Bird Dog, which was, I think, an excellent meter. And if you didn't need the super professional features of something like a Super Buddy, which was the high-end meter at the time, it was great for you. I mean, I've got a Bird Dog myself, and I use it with some regularity, although in the future I probably will be getting rid of it. I'll get to that. Well, about a year ago, DIRECTV started putting out its new swim-enabled dishes with what they call digital filtering. Digital filtering is a technology that allows DIRECTV to put 13 tuner channels on one swim dish line instead of the traditional 8. This is in response to people's needs and desires and the fact that DIRECTV doesn't want to put external swim 16s everywhere. They're expensive. So this new part, unfortunately, is a whole new technology that's not supported by anybody except for the DIRECTV AIM meter. I'm not seeing Perfect Vision or any of the other manufacturers rush to support this. It will take a whole new generation of meters, and I have my doubts as to whether or not that's going to happen. Why? Because instead of having hundreds and hundreds of independent little satellite installation companies, now if you're getting DIRECTV, about 95% of people are getting it installed by DIRECTV Home Services, or they now call it AT&T Home Services. So the DIYer market is smaller and the independent installer market is small. So, DIRECTV is only allowing its installers to use the AIM meter, so you just aren't going to see a lot of interest from other manufacturers in developing that kind of technology. If you're the kind of person who tailgates or who moves your dish from place to place more than once a year, you really are going to want to invest in one of these meters. I do know they are expensive, but you can get them at solidsignal.com, and it's going to be worth it over time. It's going to make you look like a satellite professional. Okay, see you all next week.